What does the relationship of your dreams look like? That is a question that Anna Thellmann is asking her clients on a daily basis and helping them to find the answer for that. My name is Crystal Hill. I'm the CEO of Hill House Publishing, and we're having a conversation today with Anna about our upcoming book, Beyond Dependence. Now, Anna is an internationally acclaimed intimacy expert, speaker, published author, and transformational relationship coach dedicated to helping individuals and couples to rebuild trust, reignite passion, and create meaningful, lasting connections. She firmly believes that every great relationship begins with the most important one. That is the one you have with yourself. Now, with over a decade of experiences rooted in human behavior and cognitive science, Anna helps her clients navigate messy, beautiful complexities of modern relationships and with clarity, confidence, and just enough tough love to make it stick. Using a blend of NLP, mindset mastery, and actionable strategies, she empowers people to shed their old baggage, embrace vulnerability, and build stronger, healthier bonds with themselves and their partners. She is based in China and originally grew up, just like me, in Germany. Welcome, Anna. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Crystal. It sounds so good what you just read.
It's all a reflection.
Yeah, thank you very
so
much.
tell me, how did you get to sounding so good on paper, and what was that journey that led you there, and what makes you unique in the work that you do?
So, I mean, ChatGPT definitely played a role. I don't want to put that aside. It did. But it's also a journey from where I started when I set up my business. So I've been a coach back in England where I lived before coming to China. I was a coach and I created my principles on how I want to be as a coach, how my values, respect, integrity, credibility, and honesty. And I took these, and when we came to China, when I set up my own business here, it was like, what do I do now? Because there's no one who tells me, and I do this, work with this people, whatever. It was like, who am I as a coach? And I started at saying, I want people to love themselves. So I started as a self-love coach. And that's where it started with my bio, like, I help you love yourself. And over the last 4 years, I learned that self-love is a beautiful word, but self-acceptance is what I needed, what probably you needed, and what all of us need to accept who we are with the good, the bad, the ugly, and see it as like, this is status quo. This is where we start. And from here, we can build who we want to be. But we accept all there is now, so we know what we're working with. And
it's so true, because, when we're saying self-love, it feels like such an abstract concept. But well, what even is that? I mean, sometimes when we say, I love you, we feel something. But I think self-acceptance is something a lot more tangible, that's a lot easier to actually implement in our daily lives, isn't it?
Yeah. And I feel it with love itself. When I say, I love you to my partner, most of it is, or let's say 60% of this I love you is, I feel good when I'm with you. So it's about me. And then it's the appreciation that he's in my life, that he's here and also loves me back. But most of it is me. I feel good when you're here, when you love me back. I feel amazing. And often we don't have that with ourselves. So talking about self-love, we need to get there, to build that up, to have that feeling for ourselves, to say, I feel good when I'm with me.
So yes, exactly. And then we can attract that in somebody else, right? And I think that's what you're exploring in your chapter as well. So I'd love you to give everybody watching just a little sneak peek into what they might expect when they read your chapter and what they can gain from it.
So what they gain, I think that's an individual thing, because everyone is at a different level and has different thought patterns, how they see this chapter. My story is that my previous partner, he was an alcoholic. And before that relationship, I was an independent woman. I was confident. I didn't think much about what other people think of me. And then coming into this relationship, and after we moved in together, realizing he was an alcoholic, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't enough for him because there was always the alcohol that was more important, more pressing. It was the go-to thing. He spent more time getting drunk than with me. But I was 33 or 34 at the time when we moved in together, and I had all these voices who told me, Anna, it's time for you to settle down. Anna, it's time for you to have a family. Anna, you should make this one work. Anna, there might not be a next one. So these stories that my family, my friends, society in itself told me, I got so scared that I started believing them. And even though fighting against them for so long, I lost the fight in this situation because I thought, yeah, this is it now. This is how it's supposed to be. So many people tell me that this is the best it can be. I don't know if I want to believe it, but it seems like this is what I have to fight through. So that's why for so many years, because it was this believing not what I felt, but what they said, what they told me. So being compliant to go into this little box and saying, yeah, this is how a relationship is supposed to be. After this many years, you're not supposed to have sex anymore. You're not supposed to be disconnected anymore. I believed it and I lost myself in it. It's in the book as well when I come home and I don't want to go inside because he's there.
Yeah. And I think we're going to leave it on that cliffhanger of how clearly you're not with that in that relationship anymore. Clearly, you are now in a beautiful relationship with your partner, and we're going to leave it on the cliffhanger of how you got from conforming to finding your own freedom, because the way you're sharing that story in the book is so beautiful, and you're really taking the reader on a journey of the different steps and the stages that you went through from letting go of all that and really finding yourself again. So that is what people, I guess, can expect from reading your book. And what is your intention for the reader when how do you want to inspire them? What's the thing that you want to leave them with?
First of all, I want to leave them with, they are not alone. And I know from that relationship, also from previous relationships, we don't see the trees, or what's the saying? We don't see the forest.
The wood for the trees, right? Or the trees for the wood. I never know either.
That one. And
that one.
It just feels like you can't get out of it. Yeah. You know it's not good for you. You feel it somewhere deep down, but you don't let yourself really bring that thought forward into your consciousness, into you actually playing with that idea. And even when you do, you just push it back quickly because it's like scary. Yeah. And I know it takes time to be ready to do that step that feels right to you, whatever that looks like. So I want to give the readers just knowing you're not alone. You are where you're supposed to be, and you will get wherever you're supposed to be after this at your own time. There is no timeline. No, you have to get there. Or when people say you have to stay, you have to leave. You will leave when the time is right for you, whenever that is, and however that looks like.
Yeah. And then, of course, the whole curiosity. We won't go into it now, but what do you do when you're in a relationship and one person often moves ahead and then the other person has to catch up, and there's this dance, and what I'm sure you help people with how they can navigate that so they can grow together rather than having to leave because one is growing and the other isn't. That's a whole other topic, I think.
But it comes back to acceptance. Yeah. Accept yourself. Then there isn't comparison. There isn't judgment. It's just like, I'm okay the way I am. I let you be okay the way you are.
Yes, yes. So go and read Anna's chapter. It is very juicy. It is very insightful, and that self-acceptance surely is something we all need to embed within ourselves more and more and more. Now, last final question for you. You know, you've written articles, but writing 10,000 words, I think, is a very different game. So what was that journey like for you?
It was very exciting, and I loved it. Even though at times I didn't know how to say things or what to say, because in your head you have this story that you lived through and you think everything is important and nothing is important. What is the right thing for the reader? And in the end, I let go of that. It's like, this is my story. I tell it. And then, of course, I have you and your team behind me who tell me then, Anna, look into this, look into that. But for me, it was, I just want to share my story. I would just want to give the people the knowing that they are not alone. And apart from being excited, it was also when I read through the chapter now, I have tears in my eyes, realizing that, yeah, you went through this and you came out of it. You did great. So this, not regret, there is no regret, there is no pity or poor Anna had to go through this, but it's more gratitude and happiness that, yes, you did it. And look at you now. You walked your way wherever it took you, and it's amazing.
So it became a real celebration of your journey.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that. So here is the, if you want to read Anna's story or the other stories of the other 3 authors in this book, all of whom are diving deep into their journeys, go to hillhouse.org Beyond Dependence. We are launching on April the 11th. And we also have a beautiful launch celebration that we're inviting you to, which happens, it's friendly for Australia and European time. So if you are in those time zones, we would love to see you there, and you can register on this page as well. Anna, I want to thank you again for all the wisdom that you poured into this book and all the vulnerability, and you actually, you know, the beautiful storytelling, the way you were sharing your story is just so captivating as well. So thank you so much for that. And I'm sure so many readers will have aha moments, realizations that will help them to step, exactly as you said, into their own self-acceptance and knowing that they're not walking this alone, and many have walked before them and many will come behind. So thank you so much.
Thank you too. Thank you.